Welcome to my channel. For new viewers, my name is Mary Juliana, and for returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support. Guys, today let's talk about those people working under company. Some people have been asking me, is it okay to allow your boss to buy you for 2 years if you came under company? Well, those working under company are those working house to house, like they work under 1 month contract and 3 months contract. Like the company owns you, and then you come from your country, you come to the company. From your country, you go to the company direct. You don't go to your sponsor direct. And then when you are in the company, now the company will find you a sponsor on monthly basis. Like you work for 1 month, they return you to the office, and then they look for another sponsor, or maybe if that sponsor still wants you, they renew the contract. Like they work on a monthly contract and 3 months contract. So some girls have been asking me, is it okay to allow your sponsor to take you for 2 years? Like instead of the contract, the renewal contract of 1 month and 3 months, like they take you for 2 years. They sign a contract of 2 years so that you go and work in that house for 2 years. That is the question that I want to discuss today. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe so that you get notified when I upload new videos. Okay, to answer this question, according to me and my experience here, working here and interacting with people working here, I will advise you not to agree to that, because most girls that are experiencing challenges, or most girls that are a little bit suffering, are the girls that are working under 2-year contract. Those girls that are working under company for 1 month contract and 3 months contract, they don't have a lot of challenges, because if you go and find that your sponsor, you don't get along, okay, remember that contract is just for 1 month. You can just endure for that 1 month, then you will be taken back to the office and sign a new contract to go and work in another house, okay? But if you have signed a 2-year contract, it means that you will work in that house for 2 good years. It's not easy to change, by the way. It's not easy to change. So if you want to change, if you want to consider working for that particular sponsor for 2 years, permanent, I will advise you do this. Work in that house. Maybe if it's a 3 months contract, work the first contract, observe their behavior. If maybe you are getting along, if they are treating you nicely, maybe at least for more than 6 months. You know, someone cannot pretend for more than 6 months. Let them renew that contract for more than at least 6 months. That is when you can decide now that you want to sign a 2-year contract, so that you finish the remaining time in the same house. But you just work there for 1 month and you want to sign a 2-year contract, it's a bit tricky, because some people can pretend to get what they want. A lot of people pretend to get what they want. So what if they are just pretending to be nice? Then after you sign that 2-year contract, they now show you their true colors. And you know, let me tell you one thing. You know, when that office is selling you for 2 years, they will be given their 2 years cash money. And now, for you to complain and be taken back to that office, it's very difficult. The office might ignore you because they have already gotten their share. They have already sold you for 2 years. And you know, if that employer, if you complain you don't want to work for that employer and you have signed a 2-year contract, it means that that employer has to take you back to the office, so that the office will replace you, will find your replacement, or will refund the employer his or her money, because it's not for free. They normally buys you to go and work there for 2 years. So if you don't get along and you want to go back to the office, it means that the office has to give them a refund of their money. Many offices will refuse. They will tell you to endure, and maybe the circumstances are so difficult. So if you are lucky and you came under company, stick to that. Stick to that. If you find a good employer, well, that's okay. Renew your contract on monthly basis. Because if that employer is not treating you in a good manner, maybe is mistreating you, okay? If that employer is mistreating you, you can go back to the office, because he has paid only for 1 month. and you are the property of the office. So they cannot let you suffer there because they still want to use you for business. Okay? They still want to use you for business, so they cannot let you stay there and continue being mistreated. They will accept you back, and you know, 1 month contract, it's just a little money that they pay, but two-year contract, and again, maybe if this employer will have issues with paying you your salary, where will you complain now that you have signed a 2-year contract? You know, if you are working on a monthly contract, if you are still the property of the office, it's not the employer paying you, it's the office paying you. Okay, so you don't have any issue with salary. No salary delays. You can't work for 3 months without salary, no. But some people working for 2-year contract, it's not the office paying you, it's your employer paying you, and he decides when to pay you and how much to pay you. Okay, but those working under company, they have an advantage because it's not the employer paying you. The employer pays the company, and then the company deposits your salary in your account. So if you change that contract to a 2-year contract and you haven't given yourself a chance to know this new employer that you want to sign a close contract with, you might end up suffering. And you know, the office, majority, 3/4 of these offices, after they have sold you your business and them is closed. Now you just have to deal with your situations there. Okay, so my guys, my viewers, if you're watching this, please don't accept that to be sold in that house for 2 years. If you are working on monthly contract, stick to that. Unless you have worked with that employer for maybe at least more than 6 months, because they can't pretend for more than 6 months, then you can accept to change. Another issue here, this issue of girls coming here, then they work for 1 month and they want to go back to their country. That is close to impossible. Before you came here, before you left your country, there is a certain amount of money your sponsor paid the agency so that they can facilitate your movement to this country. Like they can pay for your documentation, your ticket, and everything. In Kenyan shillings, it's about 300,000. So when you come here and you work for 2 weeks and you want to go back to Kenya, for example, if you're coming from Kenya, you want to go back to Kenya, do you think that employee will agree to incur that loss of 300 shillings, 300 Kenyan shillings? I mean 300,000 Kenyan shillings. He paid so that you will come here and work for him for 2 years. And it's very difficult to reverse that. Unless if you are able to refund that money. That is when you can go back to your country. The only thing you can do, if you come and find that the situation are not favorable, you can contact your office and then you change a house. They find you a new sponsor. So yeah, so that employer that paid for your ticket and everything will find a replacement. The office will give him another girl. Maybe you don't get along, maybe they will get along with another girl. Okay? So the only thing you can do is change a house. Go to a new house. And this is only possible if you haven't finished 3 months. That's why the first 3 months are very important. It's called the probation period. That is the months that you're supposed to observe your employer, learn him and get to know each other. Get to know if you can work in that house for 2 years. If you cannot work in that house for 2 years, you have to complain before you finish 3 months. Because after you finish 3 months, now that employer will have documented you. They will have found your IGAMA, they will have done your medication and everything. Now they will have full ownership of you for 2 years. Okay, you find that some employers, after you finish 3 months and now you want to change the house, if you go back to the office, they refuse. Like they want you to work in that house because they feel that ownership. They have already looked for the IGAMA, they have facilitated your movement from your country to this place and everything. They have paid for all that. Okay, so you find that maybe if you go back to the office and you change house, they don't give out your documents. They remain with your passport and your IGAMA. IGAMA is the ID. And if they remain with your IGAMA and you have gone to work in another house, imagine if you get sick and you are working in that house. You can't go to the hospital. It's your first employer that determines if you go to the hospital or not, because you can't go to the hospital without documents. Alright, so guys, don't endure those 3 months and then the 5th month, that is when you want to change your house. If you find that you are experiencing difficult challenges in the first 3 months, make a move before you get documented, before that employer finds your IGAMA and everything. Okay, if you endure for 3 months, it means that you can deal with that for 2 years. Then just sit there, work for 2 years, and go back to your country. Alright, for more advices in the Middle East and how to stay in the Middle East, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.